Hello guys, the 1000 topics to revise for prelims. We have done two parts now, part 0 and part 1. Today is part 2, which is actually the third episode. So you can see this Excel sheet. If you are new, you will not have seen this. We are preparing Excel sheets like this where topic wise, okay, polity, schemes, geography, environment, economy, IR, history, everything, whatever happened in the news. Why? Because people misunderstand that UPSC asks 50% static and 50% current. It's not like that. Okay, whatever happens in the news, based on that only the static is coming. Okay, like suppose an earthquake has happened, then only earthquake related question will come that year. Okay, or if Rahul Gandhi has been suspended, then the Representation of People Act will be asked. Now this year, if you see like that, elections are there, electoral bonds are there. There are many things which are happening in news. So the theory part of that will be asked. Okay, that is how the questions are formatted every year. So that we know, and that is why we are doing this series also, so that we can teach you maximum topics in the next 2-3 months, which will help you clear the prelims. Okay. So if you have not seen the previous episodes, I will recommend you to first watch those episodes, okay, where the thumbnail always will look the same only. For every episode, the thumbnail will look something like this, where only this number, okay, part 2, part 0, part 1, like that, the number will change. So today is part 2, where we'll discuss things. In part 0, I have already shown the less priority and high priority topics to study for the student. And the chart also is shown there, but in chart only 100 topics you will see, but total more than 1000 topics we will be doing. Okay, whatever is yellow highlighted is already being discussed. And for 2025 student, March 1 a timetable will start, which is having 450 days. Okay, 306 days in 2024 and 144 days in 2025. You can study for prelims and mains, and there is a crazy EMI offer also going on. I will recommend you to come and get that immediately. Okay, don't wait after March 1 because after that the offers may not be there. And the goodies, okay, whether it's a hoodie or the bags, when you're getting, immediately please do an unboxing video and send us, so that we get a confirmation that you have got it in good condition. Okay, because we are checking the quality multiple times before sending, and making sure that you get the best quality only. That is why please make sure you send us that unboxing video immediately. Okay, don't wait for many days or then tell like, okay, it was already open, or it was like that. We just want to see how you received it. Okay, so that is the thing about goodies. Okay, and this is free. It is completely free for all the students who enroll to our test series. Okay, so now the first topic which we will do today is Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. Okay, OECD. Yesterday we did EPEC, and now we will do OECD. So first is like the founding. 1961 it was founded. Headquarters is at Paris, and then it has a membership of 38 countries. And most important thing you have to know is India is not a member of OECD. Okay, this OECD, it's an intergovernmental economic organization, typically democratic countries that support free market economies. Okay, and usually it is high income economy, that is the one which we call developed countries, that is who are the members of OECD. Okay, and one more thing, please make notes. Okay, whoever is not part of my test series, make notes, because I will not be giving any PDF or PPT and all. You can make notes now itself. My students will get detailed notes on this. Everything will be there in the form of the test PDF. Okay, there is international relations specific 4 to 5 tests, that is 400 to 500 pages of notes, and also MCQs, and the other current affair things also. So current affair also will have every month 100 MCQs and detailed explanation with the news link of why it was in news. Okay, so others you have to make notes. We will not be providing any notes for you. Okay, so it was first established when 1960. Okay, 1960 by 18 European nations plus the USA and Canada. Okay, so their goal was shape policies in such a way that all these countries have prosperity, equality, opportunity, well-being, everything for everyone. Okay, and they want to eliminate bribery, and financial crime related anything is there, that you have to end it. Okay, so they maintain a blacklist also, who they consider that they are like a kind of a tax haven. Okay, meaning tax is not being paid properly, or you are finding loopholes to not pay tax, such things. Okay, where countries come and set up offices to escape from tax, such places are called as blacklist nations. Okay, India is one of the non-member economy, meaning we are not a member, but we are often called for like meetings and other things and all, like same like APEC, which we discussed yesterday, Asia Pacific. Okay, APEC. So there also we are not a member, but we are in observer kind of member. Okay, we are always called for the meetings and all. Our Commerce Ministry goes and sits there in the meeting. Same like that, OECD also, we are a non-member economy. Okay, now the most recent country, if you see, Colombia and Costa Rica joined in May 2021. Okay, 2020 and 2021. And countries now, whoever newly wishes to become members of OECD, they should have these things. Either they should be a democratic society, or they should be open, transparent, and free economies. Okay, that is the reason. If you see, China is also not part of a member, because China is not a democracy. Okay, so if you want to see the countries list first itself, these are the countries in the order of you can tell the induction, okay, how it came. If you see 1961, you can see all these countries who came in, okay, and everything is in the northeast or the Europe, you can tell. So that is why it is not mandatory that it need be only from Europe. Okay, Europe and American countries have come together, and then after that, okay, 1964, 69, 71, these years you can see here up till 2020, 21, where Colombia and Costa Rica got added. So here all the countries, if you see, even Australia, New Zealand got added in the 70s. Okay, Mexico is there, which got in the 1994, and see, in the 80s nobody was there. After 70s a gap was there, and then these many people got added. Okay, so you don't have to by heart all this, but you should know that China is not there, India is not there. Okay, so find out like which important countries are not part of it, and that's also part of your learning for this exam. Okay. Now, more fact, as of 2017, OECD member countries collectively comprised 62.2% of the GDP and 42% of the GDP as per PPP. Okay, that is the purchasing power parity. There are two ways you measure GDP. Okay, that also you should know. The nominal GDP and the PPP version. Okay, so both rankings also will be different. India, if it is rank 3 somewhere, India will be rank some 10 or something somewhere else. So that also you should know. India's rank is what in both the methods of GDP calculation. Okay, and it is a OECD is an official United Nations observer country. Then OECD is funded by contribution from the members. Then another body is there, Financial Action Task Force, which also in the coming days I will discuss with you. That secretariat is in the same place as OECD headquarters, that is in Paris. Okay, both of them has the same headquarters. Then they publish a lot of report, economic report, statistics report and all. Two reports are Government at a Glance and OECD Better Life Index. So this is the complete static which you need for this exam for this particular topic of OECD. Okay, if you look a little bit of history and all, the predecessor body, okay, predecessor body is OEEC, okay, which is European Economic Cooperation. They made an organization in 1948. The main purpose was there is a Marshall Plan, if you remember, after the World War II, to reconstruct Europe, because you know Europe was the most affected by the war, because Germany, France, everybody were fighting there. So the war-torn place had to be repaired, including China also. So everywhere, Korea, everywhere you will make a reconstruction plan. That is one of the plan is Marshall Plan. So there to do or coordinate everything, you made this organization of OEEC. Okay, and later after that 1948, 49 and all, everything, the reconstruction was over. They found out that OEEC has outlived its purpose, meaning now it is no more relevant because the reconstruction is complete. They all have now come into like a kind of developed phase. So now we don't need that body. That is how OEEC ended. Okay, later in 1950s and all, the Rome treaties, then again these people were signing lot of conventions and all, convention on the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, and that was the intention to recreate OEEC. Okay, because new problems are coming in the economy, so that is why we have to make a new body to deal with that. So that is why in 1960s they made OECD, which superseded that body which already existed. Okay, so that time the founding members are this one. Okay, you can see West Germany and all is there. Okay, not Germany, West Germany. Like that, this kind of countries came together, and then in the next few years I showed you all the Australia, New Zealand, Yugoslavia, everybody came and joined. Okay, and they have this aims also written under Article 1, that is sustainable economic growth, rising the standard of living of the people, economic expansion, expanding the world trade. All these things are part of the OECD agenda. Okay, so now this is the basic theory, and now we will look into a question which is there in the news. Okay, recently the two-pillar solution was seen in news in the context of, okay, this is now recent news, okay, 2022-23 news. So your answer is global taxation and challenges. Okay, this is actually a solution initiated by the OECD only to address the tax challenges that are occurring within the digital economy. Okay, so here the pillar 1, pillar 2 and all they have, where the most profitable, you know, enterprises and all, which is making a lot of money from a different country. Okay, like suppose one company is making a lot of money in India itself, India's population is contributing to their growth, then the tax which they, or the money which they earn and all, they should little bit that profit reallocate to the products and services for that country itself. Okay, so like that, it's a suggestion, two-pillar solution which OECD is telling. That is one of the solution. Second is, again, if your annual revenue is about 750 million pound, then you will be subject to global minimum corporate tax. Okay, like I told, many countries, many companies, to avoid tax, they'll go and set up offices in some island nations or some very such countries where they allow, okay, like making it zero tax. Okay, meaning the base office will be somewhere and another dummy office you will make it, and you will tell like, okay, our profit is all in that country and there it is tax free, so overall we will also not pay a tax to you here in America or England or Europe or wherever, okay, because our head office is in this island nation where tax is zero, okay. So like that they make different rules. So the new solutions, okay, one is this OECD is doing, United Nations also is giving a new tax regime and telling we will try to solve all these taxation related problem. If you see here, UN General Assembly has unanimously adopted a resolution to develop an international tax cooperation framework or instrument based on the UN intergovernmental process, okay. So on behalf of Africa, Nigeria submitted the resolution, and like that every country is cooperating, and the proposed this thing which UN has done will put an end to the OECD's 60-year role as the regulator of taxation across the world, okay. OECD was the one who was maintaining all the tax related things and protocols and all. Now UN is bringing a new global taxation kind of framework, so that is why it is going to be replaced. So that is why OECD is also bringing their two-pillar solution and then emphasizing their role that we are capable of taking care of all these things, okay. So that kind of basic news happened, so you don't have to worry about what is happening in this news and debate and fight and all. Your intention is to study about OECD, okay, which I have taught you in detail, and more than what you have taught, nothing will come in the exam, okay. Ideally it should not will come. Now if anything comes, it will be a very new thing which even Wikipedia, it won't be there, such strange things will come. And if you see November 2023 news, the latest report titled Agricultural Policy Monitoring and Evaluation 2023. This report is by again OECD, where they highlighted about the taxation of Indian farmers, okay, because agriculture we tell it is no tax and all, but Indian farmers paying a kind of tax and all, that related statistics they published, okay. So that news came, so again OECD becomes important for you. Then another extra old news, it is old body, the program for international student assessment, okay. It's a kind of exam kind of thing which this OECD conducts, PISA exam. Why this is relevant? Because India doesn't participate in it, okay, because once it participated long back, here somewhere is 2009 India participated in the PISA test, okay, where they'll test maths, science, literacy and all. What happened is, even though India has too many bright children and students and all, India's rank was 72 out of 73, okay, meaning the second last rank. That much poorly we performed that. After that we kind of boycotted it, telling the methodology is wrong or something. We did boycotted it. 2021 we announced that we will participate, but again because of COVID, when the event got postponed by 1 year, we again withdrew from it, okay. In India, if it is conducting, CBSE and CRT and all will coordinate that process. And then 2022, where India did not go again, there 85 countries participated and China topped the list this time, okay. Usually every year you will see Singapore is topping, okay. And this is not like annually it happens. I think every 2 years or 3 years it happens, okay. Officially it tells 3 years here, but sometimes it happens 2 years, 3 years, and because of COVID and all, that year wise thing has little bit changed, okay. So next we will wait and see, maybe in 2024 or 25 the next PISA test will happen, and we'll wait and see whether India is participating or not. As of now, India is not participating, okay, and that is one reason for you to study it, because UPSC will ask exactly that, like India's which rank, or India latest league back to back got these many rank, something they'll ask to confuse you. And it is conducted by OECD, okay. So this is the overall learning of OECD. One related body is FATF, which I will teach you some other day, okay. In some other episode I will try to teach you that. So now we will go to the next question, where we will learn the next topic, okay. Adaptation Gap Report. Adaptation Gap Report 2022 is what I have written on the screen, but 2023 also has come now. Every November this report comes. It's an annual report. So it is released by whom? Okay, it is released by, you can see, World Bank, UNEP, UNFCCC, World Economic Forum. So here which body releases the Adaptation Gap Report? Okay, so answer here is UNEP. So we will try to see a little bit theory on UNEP, okay. So UNEP is a leading global environmental authority established on 5th June 1972, okay. This date is important. Try to find out, okay, why it is important. So it sets the global environmental agenda, promotes the sustainable development within the United Nations, and serves as an authoritative advocate for global environment protection, okay. So they do many campaigns: Beat Pollution, UN 75, World Environment Day, the Wild for Life, okay. And then the headquarters is in Nairobi, Kenya, okay. This also is very important, because many people don't know that in Africa also there are headquarters of different bodies. You have to know. Reports, I told you: Emission Gap Report, Adaptation Gap Report, Global Environment Outlook, Frontiers, Invest into Healthy Planet. These are all the recent reports it has published. In 2021, UNEP has released the Making Peace with Nature report ahead of the 5th session of the United Nations Environment Assembly. So this Environment Assembly is also a theory you have to study. you can tell it's the governing body. Okay, it governs the UNEP. So it is the world's highest decision-making body for any topic on environment. It is made up of all the 193 UN member states and convenes every 2 years or biannually. Okay, biannually means 2 years. Okay, biannually means it is 1 year itself 2 times. That is 6 months. That is biannually. Biannually, BIE. Biannually is like 2020 it happens, then 2022 only it happens. Okay, every 2 years. So that is how the assembly happens. So, and it was created in June 2012 during the Rio Plus 20 summit. Okay, Rio summit is something which happened in 1992. Okay, then we had this Rio Plus 10 summit also, Rio Plus 20 summit also. Okay, after 20 years when it's happening, it's called Rio Plus 20 summit. Okay, so that is the Rio is a place in Brazil. So this is the basic theory you need to know about UNEP and UNEA. And tell me in comment section. Okay, 5th June 1972, one important summit or conference happened, and that is the reason all these things is also happening. Tell me in comment section what is that summit. Okay, that also is asked already in UPSC Prelims. It's asked. That's why I'm not repeating. In PYQs you would have seen it. So here that adaptation report published since 2014 by UNEP annually to provide science-based assessment of the global progress on adaptation, planning, financing, and implementation. Okay, so 3 terms you have to know always. Okay, one is adaptation. One is mitigation, then loss and damage. Okay, that is different. So adaptation means already some problem has happened, already climate change has happened, already disaster has happened, and you are adapting to it. Okay, you are putting fund for that, you are adapting to it. Mitigation means you are trying to minimize the effect, meaning you know many things are going to happen, so you are trying to prevent that things from happening. That is the mitigation. So these 2 terms are very important. Don't use it interchangeably. Both has 2 different meanings. Okay, and then loss and damage. Now I told you yesterday, loss and damage, one fund is also created, so that wherever disasters are happening, to mitigate that or to adapt to that, you need fund. So that is why a loss and damage fund is being made. Okay, and that also under UNEP and all, in this report they are trying to tell the numbers. Okay, that you need at least 215 billion every decade to carry out meaningful adaptation work. And how many, this statistics they won't ask you, but that is what this report does. Okay, and they're telling there is a finance gap, meaning how much you estimated that you want and how much you're actually getting, there is a big gap. That is what the finance gap, or what is that is told in this report. Okay, and then gender equality also they are telling. That is a new clause in every report. You will see that. Okay, how much like the males are getting benefited, how much females are getting benefited, that kind of things in every report. Nowadays it is like a mandate thing. Then core ways to increase financing. Okay, how can you bring in more money? Private financing, that is from different sources of companies and these things and all. Internal investment, where companies by themselves will do corporate social responsibility. Then the reforming the overall financial architecture what we have, that we have to kind of reform. Okay, you have to not depend on the same methods. You have to bring some new methods. You have to discuss with World Bank and IMF and other things and all, and to bring new sources of income. Okay, so similar to that, one more topic we'll study now, ecological threat report 2023. Okay, very recently it was in news. So it is released by UNEP. Then Europe and North America remain the only regions where no country faces a severe ecological threat. Okay, so as per the report we are telling. Okay, your logic or practicality you should keep aside. You have to tell about what is told in this report. Okay, so here now, because I taught you UNEP, now you will think like, okay, this is also UNEP, but that is wrong. Okay, this is not published by UNEP. It is published by Institute for Economics and Peace, and that is warning the number of people living in some countries are facing lot of ecological threat. Okay, and that numbers are increasing year by year. But the second statement according to the report is correct. Europe and North America doesn't have a severe ecological threat. Okay, they will have some classification, what is ecological threat, what is severe ecological threat. So based on that, North America and Europe don't have a severe environmental threat. Okay, and now about this body, Institute for Economics and Peace. It is just a global think tank based in Australia, Sydney, Australia, and they have branches across the world. Okay, like in London, in New York, in Mexico, they have branches. Okay, so they are telling the severe threat highest is faced in the sub-Saharan African country. Okay, African map, if you take, the Saharan desert is there, right? The Saharan desert is there on like this much area, it is widespread fully. So that area, okay. So Sahara is one term, Sahel is one term. Try to find out all these terms. Okay, SAHEL, what is Sahel? So if UPSC asks you which of the following are Sahel countries, you should know. Which of the following are Sahara countries, you should know. Which of the following are having Mediterranean Sea? Here Mediterranean Sea is there, which I taught you yesterday. Which are the bordering countries with Mediterranean Sea? This is everything you have to study. Okay, or which are the southern countries, or which are like in touch with the Indian Ocean. or which are in touch with the Atlantic Ocean this side. Every kind of mapping you have to study. Okay, UPSC will not leave anything, because last year at least I think 6 questions directly was from Africa. Okay, they asked about the country where cobalt is there at the highest. Okay, they asked about Congo River. They asked about another one, Zambezi River 2 years back. They asked about different like the river which passes through the Tropic of Cancer twice, something like that. And all, there are difficult questions which comes from Africa, so you have to study it all. Okay, so now the statistics, okay, which countries affected and all, you just have to glance it only. Almost every country will be there: Ethiopia, Niger, Somalia, South Sudan. All else are vulnerable country. Ethiopia, Myanmar is added to the list. Europe and America remain the only regions where no country faces any threat, ecological threat. And see, water risk is there. In the Middle East also it's there. So they're kind of new things, and food insecurity problem. This is all UPSC already asked. Okay, then this I've taken from Down to Earth magazine only. Down to Earth magazine is something which I don't recommend students to read themselves because it's very bulky, but at least follow test series like Vysh IAS who reads it for you and makes the notes like this. Okay, so you will be able to get only the relevant points. So now we'll go to the next topic. Okay, Toku Among. Okay, Toku Among seen in news refers to what? Okay, so the name looks little bit of maybe in the Ladakh or Northeast, that way it looks, and the options also will be like that only. See, martial art Arunachal Pradesh, water sport Meghalaya, hot air balloon fest Sikkim, harvest festival Nagaland. All these things are in the news, but here this term specifically refers to what, or what is the name? Okay, what is it indicating? So here the answer, it will be harvest festival in Nagaland. Okay, celebrated by the Lotha Nagas, a major Nagik ethnic group in this district of Nagaland. Okay, it's a 9-day festival, harvest season, and in the first week of November it is being done. So Toku means feast, eating food or drinking, and Among means halt on the appointed time. So like that they have a harvest time, and there they are having a feast with a celebration. Okay, celebration with feast. So here it is organized in collaboration with this local administration division and all, forest division. That is not important. And then people from different parts of the country will come there, because you can come there and see the different unique birds and all which is there in those timeline. People come there to see the birds. Okay, so it is taken from Outlook India. Nagaland's first ever bird count event records 178 avian species. That was the news which came, and UPSC notices this news, and from that only they ask you the theory part. Okay, that is how we design our test series. Hopefully whichever test series you are following is doing the same for you. Okay, else if it's not, you are studying from the wrong source. Okay, now next one. Resilience and Sustainability Facility, RSF, is a financing tool related to. Okay, so IMF, World Bank, Asian Development Bank, BRICS. So 4 banks are given, and they're telling this feature. Okay, this facility, RSF, it's a financing facility. It was very much in the news this time because Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Maldives, all these people are in debt. Around India, I think almost every country is in some problem. So they all were in debt, and who will help them? Whenever they are in the balance sheet crisis, the body which helps them is IMF. Okay, so IMF has this facility which is called the Resilience and Sustainable Facility. Okay, this complements the existing IMF lending toolkit by helping low income and vulnerable middle income country address the longer term challenge. Okay, including those related to climate change and pandemic. So for everything it is useful. It was created under this trust to provide policy support and affordable long-term financing to strengthen members' resilience and sustainability and contribute to prospective balance of payment stability. Okay, so this is the overall notes if you have to write even a mains answer. Okay, so for Bangladesh they are giving loan, and that is why it was in news. Same like that, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, everybody have been taking. Now Maldives is also under debt, they also will take. So overall it will be helping. Other thing which last year I made a question was IMF's extended credit facility. Okay, ECF. Okay, like this many facilities whenever you see will be extended fund facility, EFF. These are all IMF forms of giving money to countries. Each thing they will name it differently. So you have to know anything UPSC asks, it's all IMF related funding facilities. Okay, so now we will go to one more topic, the next topic. Okay, before that I think I'll explain you IMF. Okay, because anyway we are looking into IMF, so better we will study that as well. Okay, what is the IMF related thing? So it is an organization of 190 member countries. Representation on the IMF executive board is proportional to the financial importance. Okay, meaning you more your country has better GDP, better say in the economy, more voting share and more role you will have inside the IMF also. Okay, so a lot of complicated theory I will show you here. Try to make notes. Okay, it's important. So objectives is what? All these are objective. Foster global monetary cooperation, secure financial stability, facilitate international trade, promote high employment and sustainable economic growth, reduce the poverty around the world, macroeconomic growth, policy advice and financing for developing country, promotion of exchange rate stability, international payment system, anything related to finance, IMF has its objective. Okay, and there was a conference in 1944, Bretton Woods Conference, okay, a place in USA. So there, when it happened, there only IMF and World Bank was born. Okay, so the 44 countries that at that conference decided that we have to build such a framework, and that is how IMF was formed. Okay, IMF in short is sometimes called fund. Okay, FUND, fund alone. Okay, IMF or F, fund. So here they decided we will encourage international cooperation and this exchange rates. Okay, now we know like USA's dollar and India's rupee, there is a floating exchange rate. Okay, meaning it is decided by the market forces how each country is growing or what is the relevance of these currencies in the trade. Okay. But earlier there was a fixed currency exchange rate. Okay, meaning they will already fix it, like $1 is equal to 30 rupees, $1 equal to 80 Japanese yen, like that they will decide. So like that there used to be a fixed exchange rate, and also gold used to be the base of everything, meaning how much gold you have underlying, based on that much cash a country can hold, like the different gold related standards were there, but that was replaced by the US dollar standard. Okay, so US dollar standard and the fixed exchange rate was the initial, sorry, gold and fixed was the initial thing, this one, gold and fixed exchange rate. Now it is US dollar and the floating exchange rate. That is the thing which we currently, okay, system continues to be in place today also. This is what we are doing today, because in 1971 the fixed exchange rate system collapsed. Okay, this is all promoted by the IMF. So IMF is one of the key organizations of the international economic system. They are rebuilding international capitalism, that is promoting capitalism, but that doesn't mean you don't do social welfare. So along with that, you have to see that the national economic sovereignty and the human welfare is also taken hand in hand. And this concept is called embedded liberalism, okay, where capitalism and welfare both goes together hand in hand. Okay, so now IMF plays a central role in all these things. Okay, whenever this Soviet Union problem was there, or when there was the Asian crisis, you can tell, okay, 1997, there was a Asian economic crisis where Thailand, Indonesia, Korea all suffered. That time also lot of bailout packages, rescue packages was done. And then global economic crisis, you know, 2008 when it happened, the global crisis, that time also IMF took many initiatives. So IMF was there every time a major thing happened. Even in 1991, when India's economy was crashing because of very poor policies by the previous governments that time, IMF told, we will help you, but you have to listen to us. Okay, and that is how LPG reforms came. Okay, Manmohan Singh is the one who drafted it, but he had no other option also. Okay, he had to do this because they told only if you become liberal, if you privatize, if you go global, that is if you open up your economy, only then IMF will give such bailout packages for India also. And that is how we survived there that time, because Manmohan Singh drafted it so beautifully that we are now a kind of open economy. Okay, but again after that it was going down, but now you see the present government is again taking it open only. Okay, we are completely open, and instead of buying their things or the outside people things, now others are buying our things, okay, through this Make in India and other things and all. So like that, there is a history to it, and you should study all these basics for your GS 2 and 3 paper. Okay, so now initiatives, again I told you, analyzing financial system, helping others, all these are again basic things. Balance of payment problem, stabilize the currency, and then here surveillance also they do. They keep checking which countries are facing problems. They even give technical assistance. They give training to central banks. They give training to finance minister, tax authority. Any statement which UPSC asks, don't think it is wrong. Okay, IMF has a very wide span of roles. So everything they do, see, including sustainable development goal is the new one, right? That also they will help the countries. Okay, so every kind of where some growth is involved, IMF will be there as a key body. Okay, so don't eliminate that statement in the exam hall. Now a little bit about their structure, working structure. Okay, so I'm telling everything in one video so that you don't have to simply search here and there. Okay, in one video if you get the complete notes of IMF, that is your one-time learning. So board of governors, it consists of one governor and one alternate governor for each country. Okay, meaning how much ever countries are there, so that into 2 governors will be there. Okay, every country has to appoint 2 governors, and they will be responsible for electing the directors. Okay, the governor will elect the directors because they have a executive board. Okay, what we are talking now is a board of governor. Below that there is an executive board. So whoever has to be working there, the directors will be appointed by the governors, and they will approve the quota increases, special drawing right. Special drawing right also I will explain in a while. Wait for that. Then admittance of new members, compulsory withdrawal of member, meaning anybody going inside, outside, every major decision, right? And they meet once in a year. This is all done by the board of governors. Okay, so they have 2 committees. Okay, board of governors, 2 ministerial committee. One is this International Monetary and Financial Committee. One is the Development Committee. Okay, so the first one, it has 24 members drawn from these governors itself, and they represent all the member countries, and they will discuss all these basic things. Okay, whatever agreements is needed, what is the common concern affecting the globe, that kind of things they will discuss in this IMFC committee. In the development committee, there are 25 members from the World of Governors and also from the World Bank, and they are advising the Board of Governors of the IMF and World Bank on issues related to emerging market and developing countries. So in focus of that is why it's called development committee. Okay, you are focusing especially on the emerging market and developing countries. Okay, so critical development issues they will discuss there. So this is the basics about Board of Governors. Now I told you there's an executive board which they appoint the directors and all. So there 24 members are there elected by the Board of Governor. It conducts the daily business of the IMF, meaning that's the executive board. That is the one actually who is executing all the things or implementing the things. Okay, so it discusses all the aspects of fund work from IMF staff's annual health check of member countries, any policy issues, everything ground level thing, they are the ones who do. Okay, they take decisions based on consensus, but if needed, they do voting also. Okay, meaning they usually don't need votes, they all will be on same page only, but still, if you need vote, they will do voting, and that voting share I told you is based on a quota. Okay, a quota is given. So that also I will teach you soon. So members quota determines voting power. So here you can see how the quota is given. Okay, it depends on various things. What is the GDP of that country? What is the openness of that country? What is the economic variability? What is the international reserves which they hold? So this weightage also 50%, 30%, 15, 5. That's how 100% is there in the factors. These factors, if you fulfill, based on that you will get the quota, and based on that quota you will get more and more voting power. This is the thing which happens in IMF. Okay, then IMF has a managing director. Okay, is both chairman of the executive board and also the head of IMF staff. This much detailing is not required, but I'm just mentioning. Okay, and one important thing you have to know: a person, a country, if they want to be part of World Bank. Okay, IBRD is actually World Bank only. World Bank is one of the body, International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. It is one of the body under World Bank. So if you have to become member of that, first you have to be member of IMF. Okay, it's a prerequisite. This can be a statement which UPSC will ask you. Okay, now again, this I am keeping telling quota and all. That quota has to be put in some number format, right? For that only you have SDR. Okay, the quota is denominator or expressed. Okay, is expressed in SDR. So that is the last thing we will do now. Special drawing right, SDR. Okay, it's not a currency kind of thing. It is a, you can tell, an accounting unit. Okay, it's an international reserve asset created by IMF in 1969. So the numbers wise, if you see, total of this much billion SDRs has been allocated till date. Okay, IMF will allocate to different countries, different quota of SDR, and based on that only you know how much powerful you are within the IMF. Okay, so now to address the long-term global needs for reserves and all, and to help countries and all during COVID pandemic, all these places you can use funding from that. I'll tell you an example. Okay, here it will be written also. 1 second. In the chart format, I'll show you. Here you see. Step 1, allocation of SDR, meaning IMF will allocate different country, different SDR based on that factors I told you, right? Like how much openness, how much GDP, how much this thing, that 50 plus, 30 plus, like that you will get SDR. Now that SDR which IMF is given to you, you are suppose country A, you have this. What you can do is this SDR you can give to country B. Country B may be having lesser SDR, or maybe they are in need of SDR. Your SDR you can give to them. So they will give you hard cash. Okay, so that hard cash will be in the form of 5 currencies only. Okay, which is dollar, yen, and I'll show you here. See here, US dollar, euro, Japanese yen, pound sterling, and Chinese renminbi or Chinese yuan. Okay, both are same. Yuan or renminbi is the same, and that is the latest one, 2016. That was the one which added. This is called the SDR basket of currency. So these countries can give their share of SDR if they are in need of money, and the other country will give you this, and using that money now you can purchase vaccine. Okay, or this is just an example. COVID time, how you used your SDR. Okay, in case you needed money, emergency, you can sell your SDR for money. Okay, so that is the context. Okay, so SDR is an international reserve asset created by IMF to supplement the official reserves of member country. The value of SDR is based on basket of 5 currency. Okay, and SDRs are allocated to IMF member country in proportion to their relative share in the IMF. They can exchange SDR for hard currency with other IMF members. Okay. So this is all from IMF website only. You can see, okay, everything is there in IMF website and in the Wikipedia also. So IMF unit of account and not a currency, because UPSC will put a statement like SDR is the currency or official currency of IMF. That is a wrong statement. Okay, it's not a currency, it's a kind of accounting unit, you can tell. And members voting is related to the quota, which is again based on the SDR. SDR represent a claim to a currency held by IMF country for which they may be exchanged for hard currency. Okay, so again, this calculation of SDR, everything they keep doing daily. and every 5 years they will check whether we need to change the basket. Okay, I told you 5 baskets are, sorry, 5 currency are there in the basket, whether that need to be changed every 5 years they'll check. Okay, so last time 2016 they did, but after that COVID everything came, so after that they have not renewed it. Okay, so as of now the 5 currencies are in the basket. Okay, and IMF allows each member country to choose its own method of determining the exchange value of its money. Okay, but you should not use that old gold thing which I told, like how much gold you have, based on that your currency will not have any value. Okay, based on how much US dollar you have, or how much trade you do, how much usage is there in the economy, like that you can do any method, but it should be something valid method, and then you should do their exchange value. Okay, now you know $1 is equal to some 82 rupees or 85 rupees is the exchange rate. So like that it's a floating exchange rate. Okay, so we have discussed a lot of topics already today. We'll see some more questions. I think one more question we'll do. Okay, so Middle East Green Initiative is a regional alliance launched by. Okay, so Middle East obviously means it's a country there which is around Saudi Arabia. Okay, so Egypt and GCC country, Saudi Arabia, UAE and Oman, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, all these are Middle East countries only, but who is the one who launched it? Okay, who is the one who launched this alliance? So here the answer obviously is Saudi Arabia, the biggest player there in that area, and it's a first of its kind thing, where the prince there has announced this kind of scheme to curb greenhouse gas emissions from the Middle East. Okay, so it is a clear defined strategy for regional climate action, ensuring a coordinated response. Okay, so there is an aim to reduce the carbon emissions in the region by more than 60% from the current equivalent, and then they'll be planting 50 billion trees, 200 million hectares of degraded land they'll be restoring, and like that. These numbers are not important because it's not India's thing, but still you should know they are doing a very like a mega kind of scheme. Okay, so their Middle East initiative summits are also happening, where all their sheikh and princes are coming and discussing things. So this is about the Middle East Green Initiative. Okay, so we have discussed today 2-3 big topics. That is why I'll wind up this video, and we'll come up with the next episode where it will be part 3. Okay, instead of this part 2 which you see on screen now, we will do the part 3. Okay, which I'll do maybe very soon. Okay, tomorrow or day after tomorrow we'll do part 3. So that will be the episode 4, where more topics like this we'll discuss. And I hope you come and contact us for this offer, because I don't want 2025 aspirants to miss out on these things. Okay, so please contact us immediately. I'll wind up the video now. Thank you and have a nice day.